Project Sekai. Well, if I would tell you that it's actually really easy to start ranking up and advancing in the game if you're actually trying to play it, instead of just like for shits and giggles, I guess. It might sound really scary because you're probably like, oh, but how do I become like all these other people that play notes and clear master charts or clear pen charts? Well, you can't be them, but if you practice enough and you put time into this game, then you can probably advance, and I'll tell you how to do some of that. Note speed. Okay, so when you first start in Project Sekai, you might think it's a good idea to have 1 speed, or even like 2 speed if you're feeling a bit like risky. But actually, due to how the spacing will have to sync with your note speed, like if you have a faster speed, your notes will be farther apart and be more spaced out and easier to hit. But if you're on a slower difficulty, well, not difficulty, note speed, the notes become more bunched together as to not mess up the rhythm. So I think a lot of people can agree on this. That when you're starting out, I would just probably keep it on the default 6.0 speed, or maybe even 7. Like at my experience, I would suggest 8 or 9, if you're feeling like you can do that. So I believe that in turn, if you like the logic behind this is that since you are not being consistently stimulated when you're on a slow speed, you will not have enough reaction time. If the notes do not come down fast enough for you to process, then you will in turn have slower reflexes. So therefore you will miss more notes and therefore probably fail your first few shows until you eventually rank up the speed. I think that a good starting point would be to speed up your note speed to like maybe 650, 7, 8, 820, just to get a feel of how the game works and how notes are spaced. I would also say that maybe changing your offset. I don't know much about offset as I don't really use it. I have mine to like negative 2.50, I think. I don't even know. I haven't even used that feature much. And also turning off the 3D music videos. That's that's another point, but I'll get to that later. So, in short, just have a higher note speed as you'll be able to react faster, as this game prioritizes readability and reactability over, I don't know, music videos and sound effects. Now this, at first thought, might sound a bit strange, like why would you want to change the music videos or turn them off in a rhythm game that is focused on music? Well, this brings my point to the attention span of the player. See, if a player has a very short attention span or is prone to being distracted, such as people with ADHD, or other disorders that cause their attention to be lower, such as I have that myself actually, they will easily be more occupied in watching what is moving in front of them rather than the notes. Therefore, will probably miss a lot of notes, which before I learned how to turn off the music videos, I would always, really fumble. I might put up some of my stats from when I first started out, if I could find them in my gigantic camera roll, but I think turning off music videos, which when you're, about to start the show, there's a little thing that says either 3D MV, light, 2D MV, or original song MV. Go ahead and press that until it is on light, or if it's on light, just leave it as is. That means the music video will not play, and just the picture of the song will be in the background. So I think that's better because you will have less things to focus on rather than just, your eyes being all over the place. And you'll be able to focus on the chart a lot more easier than if you had the music video on. Especially if it's a 3D music video, such as Newly Edgy Idols, or if it's an animated music video, such as Mesmerizer, which I think is very distracting with the flashing and the general bright colors of the music video, often getting in my way of how I see the notes and getting in the way of the colors. But the general advice here is to just turn off the music videos, and as their sound effects, I would just keep them on, as you could time them in turn with the beats, and therefore making it a bit easier for you to play. I would very much suggest either having them lowered, in the settings menu, sound, turn them down to at least 50%, or have them high if you feel like you like the sound of them. I like the sound of them personally, so I keep them on, and they actually help me time myself with the music a lot more. But that's my opinion. I don't really have a lot of sekai advice, as I am not one of those professionals. But that's all I have today, and I'll see you in the next one, maybe.